بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today I would like to talk about the events in Afghanistan and the fact that the Taliban movement have now taken control of Afghanistan after fighting for 20 years, and the lessons that can be learned from that and the questions we need to ask ourselves about that. So let's start with the lessons we can learn from that. What we can learn from that is what is taken by force can only be returned by force, and that is what the Taliban did. They achieved a victory against an invasion, an invading force, albeit the first stage was fighting, then losing, then fighting, then losing, then fighting, then losing, then fighting, then sitting on the negotiation table. Now, once they did sit on the negotiation table, they negotiated for around 18 months, and they came to the conclusion that the Americans will withdraw from Afghanistan, and if they take power, they will be mindful of women's rights and human rights, and that was the kind of face save for the Americans diplomatically. Now, regarding women's rights and human rights, well, that is a bit rich and rather selective, because I haven't seen the Americans or the Europeans worried about the human rights of the women, the Muslim women, the Uyghur women in China, or the Rohingya in Burma. I haven't seen them worried about the sisters who are imprisoned by General Sisi in Egypt. I haven't seen anybody worried about the human rights of the 100,000 people who are imprisoned in Egypt, and the 50,000 people who are imprisoned in Saudi Arabia just for words they say. So please, don't lecture on human rights, because that argument has been lost a long time ago. And even if we look at women's rights, a woman now can get arrested in France for wearing a niqab. How is that woman's right? Isn't she a woman, or is she different? Or the sister who has to give up going to university because she's not allowed to wear a hijab in France and in Belgium. Are they not women? So let's forget about that one. Now, the German foreign minister has declared that he will stop all humanitarian aid to Afghanistan if the Taliban rule by Sharia. Now, we all know that the Europeans and the West in general really don't care about Afghanis chopping each other's hands off, or Afghanis stoning women to death. What they care about is the other aspects of Sharia, the financial aspects of Sharia. They are worried that somebody will come up with a working model of Islamic law that will be superior to their models. Now, we've talked about this before. If Sharia is correctly implemented, it will be a superior financial model to that of any other country, because usury is not allowed, which means that all the wealth of the country gets reinvested So instead of the rich getting richer and everybody else getting poorer, jobs are created and investments, and there will be quick growth, which the capitalist model cannot achieve. But that's going into economics. What really disturbed me most of all was those people who claim to be Muslim, who are coming out with criticisms against the rule by Islam, or the Taliban's promise to rule by Islam. We don't know what they're going to do, because they haven't done it yet. But people are already saying, "Whoa, whoa! They're going to rule by Sharia. How bad it is." I understand from a Western point of view, from a Western government point of view, but I'm talking here about Muslims. And I say to those Muslims who truly believe that living by the rules of Allah is wrong, and that the rules of Allah are inferior to human law, I say that it is really time to actually re-look at yourself and re-look at your religious tendencies. Because Islam is a holistic religion. You can't be just a little bit Muslim. If you don't believe in the laws that Allah has decreed for us, then you're not a Muslim, because of the holistic nature of Islam. So to come up with statements saying that I'm a Muslim and I love Islam, I love my prayers, I love my fasting, I love my Hajj, and I love my Umrah, but I don't want to be ruled by the rules of Islam, it's really questionable. So far we have had, especially the Emirati government, have been extremely negative towards the possibility of the Taliban using a Muslim model for governance, insisting that they should actually rule by democracy, bearing in mind that they don't rule by democracy, and bearing in mind that they actually fund all of the tyrants who have actually taken over democracy. Most recently, they funded the coup in Tunisia, which got rid of democracy from Tunisia. They funded the coup in Egypt, which got rid of democracy in Egypt. And so it's disappointing to see people that we considered to be Muslims criticizing Sharia. But at the same time, it's good that we can actually see the truth in other people, in other political organizations, or in other rulers, and it's good that we can actually start to explore ourselves. Are we really Muslim? So I leave you with a question for yourselves. Would you like to be ruled under Sharia according to the textual implementation of Sharia and not according to customs? If you do, very well, and if you don't, I urge you to take a good look at your Islam. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.